Hello, my name is Wildstag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book rant. Today I'm going to be covering this book, Six of Swords. I usually forget to cover the book itself, the physical object. Today I'm going to start with that. So, this book is copyright 1982 and is the first edition, July 1982, but is the 12th printing, April 1987. I bought this book on a clearance rack at the public library secondhand store in the local mall. I can tell that because it uses this little sticker to indicate that it's one of these books that is really well taken care of. If you look at it from the side, just looking through any of the pages, look at the binding, it is in good condition. There's a bit of wear on the corners of the cover right there, but otherwise it's in good condition. The cover art is designed by Daryl K. Sweet. The author is Carol Nelson Douglas. A couple things about this book includes that the map is very weirdly oriented. This is the map. The bottom, which has a city called Rule, R-U-L-E, states in the note, "In Rule, when one faces south, the sun rises to the right and sets to the left." You know, you're looking at this and then you would think, if the person in Rule is looking south to the ocean, then the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But the compass is oriented where south is at the top of the page and north is below Rule, headed towards the ocean. So the sun rises to the west and sets to the east. A quick summary of the book is that this is one of those magic is dying stories. The main characters are the last sorceress. The comrade is Kendrick, one of the Six of Swords, a person who wields a legendary weapon to guard the realms from harm. It's an end of times story. The main driver of the plot is named Irissa, who is the last of her kind, the Torlock. And she is, in theory, betrothed to one of the Six of Swords, whose people are effectively using the betrothal to extend magic in the realms. Her fiancé is one of the more magically inclined nations on this island in this world. The story is trying to get Irissa to a place of safety, and then once they realize that magic is failing, and she and Kendrick have become friends and to a certain degree lovers, they are trying to escape the world. Irissa has, for the most part, magic eyes. Eyes that once really utilized, she loses a lot of her magic. And so she is being brought from point A to point B to different places, point C, point D. They end up interacting with another, a witch really, that Kendrick knows to some degree, and I forget if it's implied that he's one of her former lovers or whether it's explicitly stated that they were former lovers. But by the time Kendrick brings Irissa to the witch to try and find help, they're no longer lovers, but he still knows this witch well enough to avoid doing anything with her more than is necessary for the plot. On page 119, there's a good interaction. "Whose bridle do you wear?" Irissa asked softly. Kendrick looked over to her and smiled tautly. "Mine own. That is a tighter rein than any other would put on me. And who is the maker of your harness? Whose tug do you resist? Iris sighed as the flames rose and fell before her like breath made visible. Fenorians, and Ronfrancs, and Verthanes, and yours, and Mavidona's. I wish I had a restraint to call my own, but I am merely what others wish to know of me. I am kept tethered for my own good. Perhaps that is the most treacherous binding of all. If anyone had trusted in me, he would have allowed me to explore the boundaries of my powers. Instead, I am unleashed like a hound sent to fetch a pheasant or an earth-arrowed falcon. I do my duty and return only to find the snap of the chain upon me again my sole reward. If I only knew why my sight clouded at Mavidona's intrusion, and why my tears unveiled me, and if it could be done again, and if my powers have been strengthened or diminished. You ask questions a sage like Verthane still ponders. You are like Ronfranc, really. You think power springs up in a shape to be mastered. Kendrick paced towards the fire contemplatively. That it extends so many leagues this way or that and is so high. He stretched to gesture to the sky until he seemed to tower forbiddingly. You think that it is so many wrathmen allied or scattered, so many sorcerers exiled or conquered. You think power can be harvested like wheat and then doled out in well-milled allotments. Power is empty sustenance, else Mavidona would not have needed to feast her eyes on yours. You rest better not knowing your power, and would rest even better if you did not use it. Your entire life has been force, power, in its rawest form, Irissa replied, standing. You are a Wrathman of the Far Keep. Were, then. It is easy to renounce power when it has come so cheaply to one. I will find the borders of mine and pace them off and call them my own. I will use it. I have not come this far not to. And I will come with you only until your power overpowers you, Kendrick promised solemnly. It will be an interesting journey. Eventually, they end up passing out of the world. That's what happens in the ending. And I only say that because how they get to that point is something I'm not going to reveal. And it is indeed the first in a series. All in all, I would say that this book is not really great. It's worth reading maybe once or twice. I'm keeping it on my shelves solely because I hoard books. I do not tend to put books back into the system for someone else to buy used. I do not know exactly how much this would have gone new. The price on the cover indicates $3.50. I bought this book for about $1. So, less than half, but realistically, only worth about that dollar. Other than that, I would say if you like fantasy novels with two main characters, maybe check this out. Anyway, my name is Wildstag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book rant.